What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Football Manager save. This is episode number 57. And today we're returning with a brand new season as our 7th year with Bournemouth gets underway. Today we'll take a look at what happened in pre-season, the Copa America and the European Championship. We'll play our first game away against Newcastle, and of course the much-loved transfer special as well. Let's get to that first. And there's nothing here. What's going on here? There's nothing here. All the business got done technically at the back end of last season. I discussed my frustration with this before, but all the transfers apparently counted towards last season, even though they're for this new season. But for the transfers out, really not much apart from one noteworthy one, I would say. We loaned a few of our youngsters out, good youngsters. Santino's going on loan to Wolves for a year. We'll keep an eye on him. Carlos Gomez going back to Valencia for another year as well. We got £3 million for that as well. But the big sales, if you will, were Ante Mashula, who you'll be forgiven for forgetting all about, because during we signed him for the start of last season, Joe Gomez arrived, and Gomez, regular into England international, won everything there is to win with Liverpool, established as one of the best defenders in the country, and this guy was like, "What about me?" I was like, mate, 18 years old. And he said he wanted to leave the club. So the issue never went away after we loaned him out last year. He said he still wanted to leave. And I was like, do you know what? Forget it. If I get a decent fee for you, I'll let you go. In the end, we got 22 mil. It could rise just over 30. And there's an actual £37 million release clause with Sporting. So if I want to, I can just buy him back 37 mil. But I was so annoyed about it. 18 years old. He was demanding to start. And annoyed that I bought in Joe Gomez. And also Mitrovic as well. One and done for Alexander, who last year was actually our top scorer in the Europa Conference League, helping us go all the way to win that competition. But in the final year of his contract, wasn't sure I was going to extend it, mainly because obviously Garang was lights out last season. We still got the lap, obviously brought in Ollie Watkins, and I brought in someone new as well. So in the end, I cashed in, and to get 30 mil for a soon-to-be 34-year-old in the final year of his contract, I thought was pretty decent. So that's it. That's all there is to it. In terms of sales, we kept the core together, and in terms of transfers, well, not many, but I must say, I can't wait to show you one of these signings, man. Let's crack on. And so far, there's only three. Only 3 signings, but I am about to make a signing. There's a work permit that's going to be agreed, I believe, on the 7th of August. Oh, I'm going to show you him before we crack on. He's already agreed terms. He just needs to meet the work permit, which he will. And anyway, I'll show you in a moment. But the first player I've signed is an 18-year-old. It wouldn't be a transfer special without an 18-year-old coming in. Brian Pugliese. We've got a few good young Argentines, and this is another one. Regular for Racing Club in Argentina right now, and we picked him up for a small transfer fee of £5 million. Capped at youth level with Argentina. 20 determination. You knew I'd jump straight up with a chance to bring him in with that. And 18 natural fitness at 18 years old as well. Looks pretty solid. And he's gone back on loan to Racing Club. It'll come here, I think, in December. And solid youngsters to look out for the future. There's only 2 more left, man. It's going to be so quick. So, with just 2 more signings to show you, going to be a quick one today. I'll move on to the 3rd most expensive signing in club history, but I've got to say, I'm really excited about this. And if you've played FM this year, I'm sure you know all about him. Welcome to Bournemouth Football Club for £48.5 million. I'm sure you've come across him at some point if you've got this year's game. Enrique Araujo. Yep, the former Benfica striker who, as we know, joined Watford on a seasons-long loan in the Championship, but had a bit more of a successful season in the game than he did in real life. But after a very good season with the Hornets in the save, went back to Benfica, became their starting striker, was tearing up the Liga Portuguesa, then was signed by Newcastle 2 years ago for £37.5 million. He had an amazing debut year, scoring 19 goals in 30 for the Magpies. Last year, split his game time for the most part, but still managed 10 goals in 19 starts in the Premier League. In the end, was put on the transfer list as he wanted to feature more regularly. I snapped him up for just £11 million more than that. And I gotta say, I was stunned when the fans said we only grade this transfer as a C. Are you kidding me? This guy is a pure goal scorer, man. 125 in 229 club league games, split across 3 different teams, Benfica, Watford and Newcastle as well. So he's done it in different leagues, in different countries. He's already proven himself he can score in the Premier League and averaging over 1 goal in every 2 games. I mean, what's not to love, man? I don't know what the fans are talking about, but resolute personality, Very balanced physicals and 6 foot as well, so can head the ball in too. Mentally, really solid. And one thing I do say as well, composure 17, that's fantastic. I really do believe that composure is more important of a stat than finishing when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net. Debatable, I know, but I think it's so important. 17 composure, 16 anticipation, so you know this guy's going to be great when the ball's played into his feet. As a poacher, or as a pure goal scorer, he's gotten a lot really. 15 off the ball, 14 work rate, 15 determination, and technically as well, 15 dribbling, 16 finishing, 14 first touch. And he's also got 14 heading as well at 6'2", and 16 penalties with 15 technique as well. To put it plainly, this guy's just an out-and-out goal scorer, man. He's going to get you goals. So for the backup for Mitrovic, to replace Mitrovic, sorry, I'm absolutely buzzing about that. Obviously, Garang will still start in this team. It is 95 grand a week. It's relatively pricey, but I think definitely worth it. He can become one of the best strikers in the save. At 26 years old now, probably not going to happen, but he's still an absolutely amazing striker with basically no negative whatsoever. A C, fans. Are you serious? This guy's an A+. He's amazing. The final signing I'm going to show you guys. Oh my god. Oh my god, the excitement is real, man. The excitement is real. You know, I've been talking about how it's hard for a club of our reputation to find the very best wonder kids in the game, because ordinarily they won't want to move at such an early age unless it's to a Real Madrid or a PSG or a Manchester City. Well, we've now become a 4-star reputation team, and it's safe to say, in the same window, we also snapped up one of the best wonder kids in football. I am absolutely gleaming with excitement. Welcome to Bournemouth Football Club, possibly the next big thing, certainly the possibility to become the greatest Chilean footballer of all time. Raul Quezada. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm so excited. So, we picked him up from Colo Colo from Chile for $6.25 million, and he's already been absolutely tearing the Chilean first division up there as a teenager, bursting onto the scene at what would be 15 or 16 years old. This guy has just been dominating the Chile league, and for $6.25 million, flat fee, no installments, no clauses whatsoever, he decided to swap Colo Colo for the Eddie Howe Stadium. He's already been capped 19 times at senior level and got 3 goals for the Chilean national team as well. You are looking at what I would consider, based on these stats here, the next Alexis Sanchez with Arturo Vidal's mental stats. So basically the perfect breed of Chilean footballer. Now, Raul, as you can see, has my favourite personality in the game, which is perfectionist. He is described as a certified wonder kid. Physically, he's where he lets you down a little bit. It's not great, I'll be honest here. He's got a little bit of pace, fantastic agility, but poor balance, not great natural fitness, and 11 strength is not good enough for the Premier League. But we're going to be putting him in the gym straight away and say, lad, let's get those muscles bulked up. So, physically not the best, but where he excels is technically. Moving on to mentally though, already 17 determination, 16 flair, 16 off the ball, 16 teamwork, 14 vision, and 15 work rate as well. But technically here already, I mean, just phenomenal for the most part all across the board. 13 crossing, 17 dribbling, 17 first touch, 13 free kicks and long shots, I like that as well. But also 12 for passing, 13 penalties, and 17 technique. The only negative to his technicals is the low finishing at 10. But like I said before, I find composure to be more of an important stat than finishing. I'm not too concerned about that, I'll be honest here. And again, at 18 years old, he's still going to get better anyway. But this guy just looks absolutely unbelievable. Again, we want to make sure he becomes stronger, physically improves, no doubt about that. But already this guy would be a starter for the majority of teams in this division. He looks absolutely phenomenal. After £6.25 million, finally, I've got a certified wonder kid that genuinely could live up to all the hype. And if he doesn't, I'll be disappointed. He's the new Alexis Sanchez with Arturo Vidal's mindset. He's the perfect breed of Chilean footballer. So yeah, that's it. That is it. Just the 3 signings for the season. One's gone back out on loan to South America. But, I mean, we only spent $54.75 million on those 2 signings that we've already signed, and then an extra $5 million. So technically just under £60 million. And we raised 40 for the departure this year. So we only really had a net loss of £20 million. That's fantastic, man. Honestly, give me some credit for the fact that financially we are looking great right now. We are looking great. Now, I'll be honest here, the chairman did inject a small amount of money into the club, a noteworthy amount of money into the club. I'll put the screenshot on the screen for you now. But other than that, the balance right now being 79.5 mil. There's still money in the budget remaining as well. Our wage budget has gone up a little bit to just shy of £2 million, but yeah, we still got a little bit of money to work with, and between now and the end of the season, I might still make 1 or 2 more signings, including this guy who is coming in 2 days' time. So, doing some manual searching, as I often do for the best youngsters in the game. Ivan Basic, who is a young Croatian midfielder, is about to be signed. The scout's not too keen on him, but he looks pretty decent to me, to be fair. And it only cost us £8 million, so not too much in modern day football. But this is the guy, guys. This is the guy. So, young Israeli goalkeeper, already 3 caps at senior level for a 18-year-old who only turned 18 last month. Wow. Driven personality, 20 determination already, and technically 15 reflexes, 13 one-on-ones, 16 kicking, 15 handling. I find it so hard to find great young goalkeepers in this year's FM, new gens and regens I should say, but for £3 million he's about to come in. He looks something special, man. He really, really does. You got the young Israeli coming in, already a regular at Maccabi Haifa in Israel right now. That is the young goalkeeper I want for my bench, because we don't really have a proper bench goalkeeper. He's already going to take over from Callum Ward as our best backup for Georgie. He looks fantastic, and he's only going to get better. I forgot I didn't have the scout report on him. It's so funny. Normally I've always got a scout report on someone before I make the signing. Well, this guy, I found him. I was like, don't take the chance. Just bring him in straight away, because you know he's going to be good enough. If not now, then definitely for the future. So, yeah, that's it. Really, really quick window, but I'm liking how the team is looking. We've kept the core together. We haven't sold our stars. Garang, we kept hold of him. Traore, kept hold of him. Sucic, kept hold of him. Baturina is still here. There is interest from Juventus, and he might leave. We'll have to wait and see. Scott is staying. Aarons is staying. McTominay has signed a new deal as well, up until 2030 now. It was took a pay cut as well. You'd love to see that from the captain there. So, new 2-year deal for Scott McTominay. That'll take him up to he's 33 or 34 years old. Yeah, we kept the core together. That was key. Moving into the Europa League, no one of note, apart from, I guess, Mitrovic, has left. I love taking a look at the assistant report at the start of every single season when a new year begins, because it's so cool when you see less weaknesses and more strengths appear. It's really, really nice, because when you're doing an RTG, you start off like the other way around. The team's a lot weaker than it is stronger, but now we've got a brilliant team, man. Seriously, I'm buzzing with this team. I think this is the best team we've had in the save so far. Yeah, okay, there was the team we had a couple of years ago with Solanke, who was firing on all cylinders, Kelly as well. I think this is the best team we've ever had. It is phenomenal. It's got depth, it's got great young talent, it's got star players, it's a great team, and it's so good in every single position, really. You can't really notice a weakness here. So, just before we move on to the first game of the season, a few things you will obviously want to see, and we'll start off with the European Championships and the Copa America as well. Where in the European Championships, one of our players made the final. Sadly, he came up short. Yep, France retained their Euros by beating Spain in the final. Mascara led Spain to the final, but unfortunately on home soil did lose to France as they became back-to-back winners. But as for the Copa America, we did have a winner and a runner-up at the same time as well. Yep, Mexico won the Copa America, and David Garza was part of the Mexico squad that did it as well. So there's a Copa America winners medal in David Garza's living room now. You love to see that. Well done, Garza. And Soria did make the Argentina squad as well. He scored in the semi, and then they left him out of the starting 11. Of the starting 11 for the final. So he scored the winner against Brazil, and they didn't play him in the final. Well, that serves you right, Pellegrino. That serves you right, honestly. Had you played Soria, he might well have got a winner's medal. Instead, runners-up, but even so. A new winner for Copa America, Mexico, and Garza getting it as well. Also, very interestingly enough, the chairman has dropped off of the favoured personnel, which I find really, really strange, because he provided a cash injection, and the fans were like, not good enough. We're taking you off the favoured personnel list, but I'm still on there. No more players players have been added so far. I can't believe Alex Scott is not on there. That's blown my mind, man, seriously. But yeah, we did have our reputation boosted slightly from 3.5 star to 4 star. We're still, I don't know, of course we are. We're Continental now because we've gone 4 star. So we're Continental now. And like I said, this plays such a big part. And I always want to point that out for players that don't, for people that don't play FM. Like, it's not enough just to have loads of money. You need to be a club with decent reputation and facilities and so on to convince people to come. We've improved our training facilities to state of the art now. I'm going to try and get the youth facilities up this season to state of the art as well. Wait, to go superb, excellent state of the art, or excellent superb state of the art? I can't remember, but on to the next one regardless. And to attract the best players like that Chilean lad we got, Raul, he wouldn't have wanted to come into us, a few years ago, because we still didn't have had the best reputation. Those sort of wonder kids, they weren't available to me a few years ago. They'd only want to move countries, move continents, move clubs at that young age if they were going to go to like a Real Madrid or whatever. We're finally able to now start tempting these youngsters to come to us. That is a really dodgy sentence. These young players, I should say, these young football players to sign a professional contract with us. That's how I should have said that. I guess really, other than that, nothing much to show you apart from what we have planned in terms of our expectations this year. Obviously, we won the Carabao Cup last year. The boy expects to reach the quarterfinals this year. Same with the FA Cup as well. We've reached the Carabao Cup final 3 times in a row, though. I'd love to win it back-to-back for the first time. Europa League this year, now that's the big one. But would say to us, reach the quarterfinal, lads, we're going to try and win it. We're going to try and win it. We want to be in the Champions League, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We are just not good enough to consistently break up the top 6, and we're not a top 4 team yet. We still don't have what it takes to outmuscle a Man City, a Chelsea, a Manchester United, a Spurs, a Liverpool, an Arsenal. They're the traditional big 6. We're getting there, but we're not there just yet. We've now become apparently the 7th best team in the country, neck and neck with Newcastle, I would say, really. So, in order to get the Champions League, I don't see it being top 4. I think it has to come through winning the Europa League. The media think we'll finish 7th. The ball wants to finish in the top 10. If we're going to get to the Champions League for next year, we've got to win this competition. I'm putting most of my eggs in this Europa League basket. And also, for those that don't follow me on Twitter, @Docklanders, you wouldn't know this, but last season, I had a job interview with Spurs. They turned me down. They chose Pioli, got them top 4. This year, Arsenal did give me a job interview. They turned me down. They hired Conte, and they'll be hoping to get top 4 as well. Yep, Conte took the seat. I wanted to join Arsenal. I attended the interview. I thought I gave a good account of myself. Sadly, decided to go with Antonio instead. So he's now managed Chelsea, Spurs, and Arsenal as well. Oh dear, Bournemouth, we are stuck together. Anyway. As you can see, pre-season, this is what happened. We won all of our games apart from against Napoli in the Eddie Howe Cup. Got the testosterone flying. That's basically it. So, let's start with the first game of the season. As you can see, right now, everything's looking really healthy apart from this. Batterina still wants to leave the club to join a team with a stronger squad. And I basically just said to him, I promised him, I think I promised him 88 million was the fee I would sell him for. Now I've ducked it down to 75 million. If someone puts in 75 mil, I'll sell him. But the bids I got were like 30 mil earlier this winter. That was stupid, man. I saw bids for 35 mil or something ridiculous. Not even that from some clubs. Come on, guys, seriously. I know the year before last he was, let's be honest here, really poor and let us all down. But last year he bounced back brilliantly, scoring a season high 7 in the Premier League last season. I'm not against selling the Batman. I'm not. I love him, I do. But now we've got Raul coming in, Traore still here, Sucic and Soria as well. If he wants to go, he's got 2 years left on his deal and an optional 1 year. If someone meets around 70 to 75 mil, I'll cash him. He's unhappy. He doesn't want to stay. But again, we've got to get the right fee for him. Otherwise, he's staying here. But otherwise, the club atmosphere is great. The manager support is good. The hierarchy, there's 3 team leaders now. McTominay, Scott, and now Georgie is a team leader as well. And in the social groups too. 3 splits. Raul, yet to make any friends just yet at 18 years old. But eventually he'll become part of the core WhatsApp group. And as I always say, this will gel and become one during the season. Righty-ho, let's crack on then. First game of the season, Newcastle away. And as I mentioned earlier, really now I would say that us and Newcastle, we are the 2 best teams outside of the big 6. The best of the rest in the Premier League. It's us and Newcastle that really every single season should should be in a European place, in 7th place. Last year, of course, the Magpies were not. They slipped down outside the European places. They'll be desperate to get back into it for this season, so this will be a big, big game for them, and a big game for us as well in our first away there this season. So, heading into the game, just one player down. Fernandes got injured during the Olympics with Argentina. Everyone else is fine, and this will be our team. It is our 4-3-3 Gegenpress system, and this is our lineup. Georgie remains between the sticks once again for 5th year? 5th year now, I think. 5th year now for Georgie between the sticks. He's become our regular starting goalkeeper, and I don't want to ever sell him. He's so good, man. I know he pisses me off sometimes, but he's so good, man. Anyway, back four is Gaz, Miodrag, Mosquera and Aras, and midfield trios McTominay, Urasevic and Scott. Traore and Sucic are on the wings, and Garang, returning back to his old stomping ground, is up top. On the bench, you got Ward, Garza, Gomez, Mitchell, Radanovic, Batarina, Soria, Rao, and Enrique back at Newcastle as well. First game, only game, Newcastle Weston James. It's already a massive game. If we are to be on the chance of top four, we've got to win these ones. Come on, you cherries. Yeah, Newcastle were very, very busy in the transfer window. They bought in Kelleher between the sticks. They bought in Tariq Lamptey from relegated Brighton. For those wondering about Matoma, in the end he went to Leeds. I decided not to put the bid in, and well, mainly because Raul came in, and I was like, we're so overloaded on the wings right now. Matoma would barely play, so I decided against a Japanese winger, and in the end he went to Leeds. Garang hits the crossbar, and almost a perfect start for Bournemouth. But yeah, Newcastle were very busy in the window. Last year, they were poor by their standards at this point in the save right now. So this is already, match day one, but already a big game for both clubs. If either of us are to have any chance of the top four, this is a massive statement of intent today. McTominay, Traore, he's got Garang ahead of him. Kelleher with the worst positioning I've ever seen. He must have been looking at the linesman and saying, that was offside. I think he might have been offside. If he's not, that's terrible from Kelleher. Is it going to stand? It's not. Kelleher must have been very confident now. He did look offside, to be fair, as the ball was played through. Oh, it is tight. But Kelleher, look at that positioning. That is awful from the former Liverpool goalkeeper. He must have been very good. That reminds me of Fabian Barthez versus West Ham. I think it was West Ham. Paolo Di Canio, I think it was. If you're an old school football fan and you've been, well, if you're old basically like me, then you'll remember that incident. Remember Barthez with the arm up for about 4 seconds? Dear, that's what Kelleher was doing. Arm up. Cool with a simple finish in the end, disallowed for offside. George makes a save there, still 0-0. Good start to the game here though. Tariq Lamptey to Boubacar Kamara. And now Dwight McNeil's pass cut out by Urasevic, and Miodrag back to Smallcoat. Over the top for Kowal to chase, but it should be cut out easily. And it is. Such a massive game, this, man. Even so early on, even in game one. This is big. This is really big here. Great 1-2 between Urasevic and Sucic, who pens it. Just what I'm going to praise the team, though. We might not have got that goal yet. We've had the ball in the back of the net, disallowed for offside. We've looked very good out there. We've looked very good out there in this first half an hour. And there is the breakthrough. Alex Scott has scored in the Premier League. Oh, don't disallow that VAR. Come on. Please let that stand, because Alex Scott has not scored, yes, since season 1 in the Premier League. And his long goal drought in the league is over. Sucic flicks in the free kick. I was going to say, how could he have been offside? There was a man on the line there. And Alex Scott was not going to miss from 2 yards out. Well, he got a couple of goals last year in the Cup. And now he's finally broke his goal drought in the Premier League as well. This has been such a good start from Bournemouth, though. Really good start. We've had the ball in the back of the net twice. 1 disallowed, 1 stands. And Newcastle right now are really struggling to cope here. Hammered down the left finds McTominay, the captain. Urasevic 30 yards from goal. 2 Scott, the goal scorer. And there's Max Aarons. Can he slide through Sucic? No, he can't. It's cleared. I'll tell you what, we're going to get a second goal at this rate. We keep this pressure up, we will get a second goal. Miodrag in the centre circle to Urasevic, and the Serbians playing a 1-2 before Gaz takes over. Small cone down the left-hand side, sends it down the byline. There's Hamid Traore, crosses. Garang Kowal says you ain't going to disallow that one. 2 in 2 minutes. What a brilliant first half from Bournemouth. And what a goal as well. What a fantastic team goal that was. We played some brilliant football out there. I've got to say, I love this 4-3-3. This 4-3-3 is brilliant. The midfield is fantastic. We often dominate possession like we're doing this afternoon as well. We fashion out loads of great chances. I love this formation. It works really well for this team. We're up by 2 at the break, and more of the same in the second half, because right now we are in control. But you can never have too much of a good thing in FM, can you? Yep. 30 minutes after the restart, Scott McTominay goes down and is forced of a potential groin injury. I don't have the chump on the bench, so Scott, to be fair, is a really hard worker. So what I'll do is I'll change he and McTominay's roles around and bring on Vlad, who, as we know, is so creative. So 32 minutes to go. Captain forced off. Hopefully, we'll be able to cope without the leader's presence out there. Scott takes the armband as our vice captain, and we still lead by 2. He's got a goal, to be fair, today, and we played some great football too. Speaking of which, Lucas threw down the right, and Kelleher denies him at the near post. We've been sensational this afternoon. I genuinely think this is one of our best performances of the save. We've been brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant. Oh! And Luca fires one just wide. We have been really good out there. Like, we could have had an extra couple of goals today. We've only really had allow one shot on our goal. This has been a much better opening day performance than I was expecting. We've been superb. Irisevic to small cone. Lovely through ball. Baturina off the bench. Fires it just over. What a performance, man. The fact that we only scored 2 is quite disappointing. We've been dominating out there. Almost there, lads. Don't give Newcastle a sniff in the final few minutes. I've made all of my free stoppages, so I can't make any more changes despite the fact I still have 2 men to bring on. So just don't allow Newcastle a chance here. Irisevic was unlucky there, and Camera tries to lob Georgie, but he ain't going to do that with a Georgian being 6'5". I've got to say, I was very impressed with his performance here. Opening day, away in the North East against Newcastle. He basically played them off the park. Dominated possession, scored 2 goals, and really should have had a couple more. 1 disallowed for offside as well. That was absolutely fantastic. And if we are to have any chance of being a top 4 team this season, those are the performances and the results we'll need. Going away to one of the better teams in the league and playing like that and winning that comfortably. That was superb. And that is the negative in what was otherwise a flawless performance. McTominay done for 4 weeks. That's a big blow for the captain going down for the first month on match day 1. But that's today's episode, though, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it. If you had, then please drop a like. So you'll have a fantastic day. I will return in the next episode with games against on the back of the opening day victory. Tell you what, that's not a bad double header, that is it? Arsenal at home and Leeds away. That's pretty tasty, that, I'm not going to lie. Or maybe the opening game of the Europa League phase, and it'll either be Leeds or Wolves away. One of those 2 will come around here. I don't know, but probably Arsenal game, because that would be a massive one earlier against a side that didn't want to take me. Have a great day, guys. Much love, and I'll see you next episode on the Football Manager Say. More of the save, please, guys. That was fantastic. Very soon.